Hi guys, I decided to review the film, Sinhalese film released in 2013. It's called Super 6, and there's a lot of hype for it because it used the biggest budget in the Sri Lankan movie industry, which is about 900 million, 99 million LKR, which is about 900,000 USD. And so here in the US, that's not a big budget. So of course they have to make some sacrifices, and there are gonna be some flaws. However, I've seen lots of good independent films, so there's really no excuse. So let's get started with Super 6. So I'm going to start out with the characters. The characters, as we've seen in many Sinhalese dramas and movies, they seem to be all pretty much alike, like the same format. Especially in this film, it felt like all the characters were very defensive and kind of goofy. And I understand it's a comedy, but it really didn't make me laugh. It felt like it belonged in, maybe a cartoon or a children's poem. So I don't think that's exactly what they were going for. Also, there isn't really any character dynamic, and that's kind of what carries on. That's what should carry on the plot. And for instance, when June suddenly decided to tell, what was his name, Senat? I don't really remember, but tell this one guy, because there was some sort of love triangle between them, that the character named Priya actually liked him. So June and this other guy, they didn't like each other, and so then June just suddenly changed, and we didn't really see that progression. So if there was a change in character, it was very sudden, and it felt like the movie kept taking different turns with them, or they just stayed the same. So really, that lacked a lot of interest, and yeah. Next, the actual cinematography. It's a lot, it's kind of better than older dramas and other films in Sinhalese that I've seen. However, it's still not very good. For example, when they use the aerial angle a lot, and especially during arguments, I kind of like to see their faces and their expressions, and they should really take advantage of that. But it seemed as if cinematography tends to be kind of like, it's just they shoot it and they don't really take advantage of different styles, different angles, or different ways to execute the story, which isn't good because it's kind of like the difference between telling a story, like telling a horror, scary story with a very in a very monotone way versus telling it in a very excited and suspenseful way, and so they really didn't take much advantage of that. And I felt like there were a lot of sub stories, and I tend to do this a lot when I write too, because I feel like I mistake like depth or like a good story for I mistake depth for length, which isn't good, of course. And so I felt like they added a lot of sub stories just to make the movie longer, and a lot of these stories were irrelevant, and it just felt like every time they went to the next scene, it was just very random, and each scene seemed very pointless and didn't really add much to the overall story. And I think the premise was, of course, other than the romances, it was about cricket and how the two teams did not like each other. And so it didn't seem like they had much of a reason for not liking each other, other than the fact that in the beginning, the Rockets, their rival team, beat the protagonists. And so they didn't have much reason for the way they were acting. So there was really nothing carrying the story, motive. It felt like there was something missing in the plot, which is not good, of course. Another thing that I felt that was unnecessary and took away from the story were the romances. They really didn't need to be in there, and I felt like the only reason why they did put in there is because of the influence from Bollywood, obviously, and that it's just like an add-on, an afterthought. Oh, we need this, and there were three romances, and I felt they were sort of pointless. Two of them were actually very alike, the whole love at first sight thing, and this also goes back to character dynamic, because I didn't really see how the two fell in love or why they fell in love. There was no reason, really. And yeah, I felt very confused while watching this, because as the movie went on, it cut from scene to scene to scene, and none of it felt like it went together, or none of it felt very connected. There were different twists that the story took, but if you they didn't really give us a hint that there was going to be a twist. It just felt very random and abrupt. So yeah, I felt like the plot was very I can't find a word to describe. Very. I felt like the plot itself was confused. So it's just going in all different directions. Also, another thing, the timing for each scene wasn't that great. There were some scenes that were just a couple seconds long, so they really did feel pointless. And also, in terms of comedy, this movie only made me laugh maybe like 2-3 times. Otherwise, it felt just very goofy and like it was a children's film. And although I guess I'm a child, it didn't really appeal to me either. And it felt like the genre was very mixed, like it was trying to appeal to everyone actually. But I failed in doing so. And they had random scenes in which the only reason why that scene was there was to make someone laugh, but it was just very irrelevant to the story. And yeah, for instance, let's see, there was that one part where a man pretends to be blind to attract a few women, so it was just very random. I didn't understand it. Also, in terms of the director's style, I felt like he kind of took things that he liked from different movies and kind of jumbled them all together. He didn't have a clear personality yet. Like, for example, the captions they used, the effects they used, they didn't really grab my attention. I felt they also took away from the movie, like it was there for no reason. Overall, the movie, I'd say out of 5 stars, was an honest, maybe 0.3. That's very random, but all I'm saying is that the movie, I think the reason why there was a lot of hype was because it was a big budget film, but sadly they didn't take advantage of that. So that it was a bit disappointing to see it while knowing that it was considered one of the best films. So next, I'm going to review what is considered number 1. It broke, I think, the record of money a Sinhalese film has ever made in Sri Lanka, which is the historical drama Kusapava, and I'm looking forward to that because a lot of people do actually like it. So I hope I won't be disappointed again. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.